Hi everyone, it's Kathy here from Bello's Designs, and today we're going to be recreating this card I called Moon River. And it's called Moon River because it's got a lovely big moon and it's by the river. It's a mixture of some of the very old stamps like the Unicorn 2 and the very new stamps, the Bridges and the Dragon's Thorn I think it's called, and the Little Fairy. So for this particular project you're going to need a piece of Multifarious card cut 4 inches by 6 inches. Some black matting card, which is cut 4.25 by 6.25 inches, and then we'll mount that onto a piece of card once folded, measures 5 inches by 7 inches. And the stamps we're going to be using, I've got the LAV 866 Sacred Bridge Small, the LAV 643 Tree Stem, the LAV 863 Dana, the LAV 857 Forest Moss, and I'm going to be using the leafy one on the left. LAV 864 Dragon's Thorn, I'm going to be using the one on the right. LAV 758 Lamps, I'm going to use one lamp and one of the mushrooms. We've got the LAV 734 Small Pixie Houses, the LAV 185 Unicorn 2, and we have a hill mask, and the hill mask I'm using is the I don't know if you can see that on there. Put it next to the black. It's like the bumpy up and down curved one. Right, so that's those. I've also got some masking sheets, and I used a circle die, and I just cut a few circles out. If I can get this up, I can show you, and it makes a perfect little moon that you can stick on wherever you want it, and I want this one to be around about here. So when I cover the scene with the blue ink, I just peel off the mask and it's white underneath, so that's really handy. Well, let's get started. So the first thing I do is I put the moon mask on, and then I'm actually going to do all the stamping. So I'm going to do all the inks and the backgrounds last. So let's get this little block. And I'm going to, oh sorry, I forgot to tell you, the other products I'm going to be using is Versafine Clair Shady Lane, Versafine Clair Nocturne, Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves. And for the backgrounds, I'm going to be using the Elements Ink Dark Denim for the sky, and Olive for the foreground, and for part of the water I'm going to be using a little bit of Mermaid. I also have, I've got 3 large stencil brushes and a small stencil brush to do the background. And I've got a whole load of pencils and bits and pieces here. I've got a watercolour pen, I've got a gold gel pen, a yellow pastel pen, a pencil, sorry, a black fine line pen, a small paintbrush, a white gel pen, and I've got about 3 or 4 blues and greens in polychromo colouring pencils, and I've got a couple of browns in the watercolour pencils, in Inktense pencils, I apologise. Okay, right, let's get started. So I'm going to stamp the bridge in the brown, the fallen leaves. So where my moon's placed, I'm not sure how well you're going to see this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. For the purpose of the video, I'm just literally going to go around the outside of the moon there just now, so that you can see roughly where the moon is. So I'm going to position my bridge slightly to the right of the moon, fairly close, about there. There we go. I just need to give that a little wipe. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a blue pencil. I'm just going to roughly draw the outskirt of my river. That's going to come down there like that, and here it's going to come round like that, and this one is going to come round like that. So it's just a rough guide so I know where to stamp. And next of all, I'm going to stamp my unicorn. want him positioned so that he's on the grass verge, but his head is in the water drinking. There we go. And next I'm going to do the trees. Actually, no, I'm not going to do the trees. I'm going to do the houses, I think. I'll do the houses next. So, I've got a very teeny one here, but that'll have to do. And I changed my mind about doing the houses because I want to do a tree behind the house. And if I do the tree first, it'll be harder to get the house where I want it. So I'm just going to position that there. I want my little house just about there. It's just behind the bridge there. And then I'm going to have another house just this side of the bridge. And I'm going to have some smaller ones. So I'm going to have a couple of little dinky ones. So if I've got, let me just see, I've got something smaller. Oh, I can use this one. I can use one of the cardio ones. I'm going to have to wet that a bit because that's not sticking too well. There we go. So I have this little one just about down here. I'll have one here. And one more smaller one here. They're just randomly placed any way you like, any size. Right, so now I'm going to do some mushrooms. Again, I want that a bit bigger than that. Like that. I want to have some mushrooms in between the houses, and I want some of them to be small and some to be taller. I have another one down there. I have one here. And a small one here. There we go, that's roughly where I want them. Now we're going to have the little fairy, Dana. I'm going to position her on the edge of the bank, looking over to the unicorn. There we go. Now she's a little bit faint, so I'm going to get my black pencil. Just go. There we go. Actually, just a little bit on her foot. Right. So the last stamp is going to be, oh, it's not the last stamp actually, it's the last one for now. It's going to be the tree stem. I'm going to do the trees in brown, in the fallen leaves. I want that to be sort of a bit parallel with the bridge. That's fine. Now I just want a bit that's just cutting that bit of the window on second generation. And lastly, do another tree over here. Let's just take a bit of that off. And this one is going to go about there. There we go. Now for the minute I'm going to stop stamping and I'm going to start doing some colouring, and then I'll come back and finish off the stamping. So I'm going to be using the dark denim. Sky. Now I can take off the moon mask, and it's just me. I like to have just a tiny bit of blue on the moon, so it's not completely white. And now we're going to do some of the grass verges. I'm going to start with the larger stencil brush first. I'm working from the outside in. Right. Now I'm going to use my small one. I'm just literally dabbing this to get a darker edge. It's literally giving a darker edges around parts I want to be darker. That's fine for now. And now with the mermaid, I'm just going to use a tiny bit, taking most of it off. I'm just using this to add a base colour. There we go. Just to give us an idea of where it's going. And now I'm going to use some of my colouring pencils here. I've got 3 different blues, like a turquoisey, a teal and a light blue. I'm going to use all of those. forest leaf in the Shady Lane. And the Dragon's Thorn is also going to be in Shady Lane. Now I'm going to do the lamp. I'm going to stamp the lamp in Versafine Clair Nocturne. Want to be a bit higher. Last thing now is for me to do a reflection of the moon. I'm going to use a white Signo pen for this, and I have to keep dabbing it onto a piece of inked paper because the colouring pens, colouring pencils, they don't work great on top of them unless you keep dabbing them. There we go. I just realised I told you at the beginning about the acetate hill moss. I forgot. I changed my mind about that. I decided I didn't want to have hills in the background. I just wanted to focus on the river. So apologies for that. That won't be in the list. I'll just put that on here. Try and get that straight. Let's try that again. That's better. There we go. All done. Moon River. And the original Moon River. I think the river on my original one was very slightly darker, so the white shows up more. But I just wanted to try and lift this if I can. I don't know if you can see there. Now perhaps you can see. The reason why I did it, not all of them, but just some of the strands with a bit of gold, because it adds quite a sparkle, and the same with the bridge and the unicorn's horn and hooves, so it just adds a lot more sparkle to the card. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already joined our Facebook groups, please do consider joining our 2 Facebook groups. We have Del Bello's Designs Lounge for all products that are Lavinia, and we also have Del Bello's a la carte lounge, and that's for all other products Patty sells, such as cardio stamps, sweet poppy stencils, etc. Till next time, bye bye.